Hey guys, what's up? This is James here at Unique Perspectives. Thought I'd make another video. It's been a while since I've done a longer formatted video. I've been really cranking out probably over the last year a lot of reels, maybe 3 a day at minimum. So been connecting with a lot of people, but I wanted to make this video because to be honest with you, there was a pastor just today that it was found out that he was having some type of inappropriate relationship with someone that obviously is not his wife. And I don't want to say the pastor's name. It's someone that I have deeply respected in the Reformed community. In fact, if you are Reformed, a Christian that is Reformed, you probably already know this pastor. In fact, some of you are probably already know who I'm talking about by the time you watch this. But I actually wanted to just talk about the topic of sexual purity and just some of my thoughts as a Christian when it comes to this sort of thing. Now, I've never been married, but as you can imagine, as a man, there are always temptations lurking, whether you are married or single. And I just wanted to talk about 3 aspects of just sexual purity and just things that can it's something that we guys can just hold on to when it comes to just considering sexual purity, because obviously whether you are, you're a guy and you're single or you're married, there are going to be specific challenges. Really just abstain from going off the deep end and things like that. So I just wanted to discuss that. I have some scriptures here that's reinforcing my points, but this is James again here at Unique Perspectives. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. It's been a blessing to connect with so many of you guys. I just want to get straight into the topic. One of the areas that I would say that's really important to address, and I'm going to say it's just really creating a guardrail, essentially, for your relationship. Whether you're in a, committed dating, courting relationship, whether you are married, or even if you're single, there needs to be some type of protecting yourself and other people from you as a male or as a woman. And, I call them guardrails, just kind of guidelines. So for example, one of the guardrails that I have is I don't want to be alone with a woman, especially if she's like married, if she's married or she's, a single woman, or maybe she's even dating, but I don't want to put that opportunity, I don't want to set myself up for failure. Now, let's be real. Not every woman we come across is going to find us attractive. Okay. I have ladies that have thought I was cute, and then there's plenty that don't think much of me. So it's not like every situation is going to be a temptation. Some ladies are just not having it. They have their specific criterion, right? Let's say you do come across someone that does seem to be showing signs of possibly being attracted to you, or you attracted to them, or vice versa. If they're married, or if you're married, if you're in a committed relationship of any kind, you want to make sure that you have parameters set. Now, one of the things I would do is I would even tell the person, I would even tell people, hey, even in a joking way, hey, by the way, I'm not going to be alone with you, especially if you're in a committed relationship or married, and they may laugh, and, you can say it in different ways, but you want to set up some type of parameter and let everyone know you're not crossing that line, because you can't be tempted if you're not in that position at all. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I think a lot of us Christians, especially, we underestimate. If you don't put yourself in those positions, you cannot be tempted. You can't be tempted if there is no temptation that you're putting yourself in. So I have a first verse here. It says in 1 Corinthians 6:18, flee from sexual immorality. Every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexually immoral person sins against his own body. So we know that sin is an archery term. It means to miss the mark. We're missing God's mark. He has a standard and we're missing it. And we know that when we are sinning, we are offending God. This is breaking God's moral law. We're tarnishing his character. We're breaking his law. We're offending him. We're violating one of his commandments. But what's unique about sexual immorality is we are also violating our own body, and even someone else, especially if it's outside of marriage. We are violating ourselves as well. And so the Bible is pointing that out. It's not only you offending God, but you are, in a way, involving yourself at a more intimate, personal level, involving that sin. So it's something to be mindful of, because all the other sins are very, they're unique in their own ways, but sexual immorality, that goes into a different category when it comes to that sort of thing. I also have 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 3 through 5. It says, for this is the will of God, your sanctification, that you abstain from sexual immorality, that each one of you know how to control his own body in holiness and in the passion of lust, like the Gentiles, what do not know God. So God does not want us to behave like the Gentiles, those outside of Christ. We shouldn't be behaving like them with our conduct. There should be some type of honorable behavior that we have that's unique, reflecting Christ, not reflecting the people of this world. And again, whether you're a pastor, whether you are a deacon, whether you are a lawyer, doctor, stay-at-home mom, whoever, there are temptations that we that can arise. I've been in situations where I was very tempted, and I got sidetracked. So it's really important that we don't underestimate the fact that any of us can fall. Any of us, under the right circumstances. That person can have the right skin tone and the right tone of voice and all this other stuff, but they're married or they're in a committed relationship, or maybe you are, and you don't want to position yourself to be in that. So we want to conduct ourselves in a holy manner. Number two, I really wanted to focus on this area as well. This is just controlling your thoughts and your minds. Now, it sounds impossible, but there are ways to divert your gaze, so to speak, when it comes to lust and things like that. Appreciating someone's beauty or attractiveness, that's one thing. Admiring their nice outfit, the way they put their outfit together, there's nothing wrong with that. But lust is something completely different. That would be objectifying the person and fantasizing about them, And one of the things I would encourage you guys to think about, and one of the things that I learned in some literature in the past is just, humanizing a person, because it's very difficult to objectify someone when you see them as a human being. That, for example, as a man, I have to think, oh, that's someone's daughter, that's someone's mother, that's someone's grandmother, that's someone's sister or cousin, that's someone's, somebody that, is loved by their family. Also, it's important that just at the foundational level, that's someone made in the image of God. That's an image bearer of God, made in his likeness, made in his image. And so I don't want to objectify someone when I think about them in a not only in a sense where they're made in the image of God, but they're human beings just like me. They have the same value and worth. And to objectify someone, I know the secular world sees that as something cute and adorable, but for a Christian, we should see that and despise that, even if it comes from ourselves. We should not be objectifying other people and looking at them like an object. Psalm 119 verse 37 says, "Turn my eyes from looking at worthless things and give me life in your ways." This is something that's very encouraging, because, the person is praying to God, hey, God, please make me or assist me with guiding my eyes to the things that are worth seeing and your ways versus the things of this world. And so this is something we all, in a sense, should be asking God when it comes to prayer. This is one of my favorite verses, a very popular verse when it comes to sexual purity, even from, gazing at the wrong person in the wrong way, is Job 31, verse 1. It says, I have made a covenant with my eyes. How then could I gaze at a virgin? And so Job is saying, hey, I have promised myself through my eyes that I'm not going to glare and objectify a woman, especially a young lady, like an object, And, Job, we know, was married. He had a wife. She wasn't a very nice wife, asking him to curse God and die. But it's really important that we are careful and mindful of the way that we control ourselves. And this applies to women as well. I know that men are very receptive when it comes to sexual videos and things like that, even just movies. It could be something, just a lady wearing a certain outfit. So God has designed us to be very sensitive to that sort of thing. But knowing that about ourselves, there should be some type of conviction to steer our gaze away from objectifying someone. There are times when I've had to, I remember some weeks ago, I was getting some medicine for my mom at CVS, and then there was a fairly attractive lady wearing some type of spandex or something, and there was nothing really hidden from the imagination, if you know what I'm talking about. And so I had to completely turn my, the line is this way, and I had to kind of turn this way, and I would play with my phone and other stuff, and because it was very distracting. She just had no care in the world. But that's how it is for the people of the world. They don't think about that, but we should, even when it comes to our own purity. The last area is just number 3. It's just the area of just remembering that you are an ambassador of Christ, that you are to reflect Christ, that you and your behavior, for example, one of the things that keeps me from really faltering in certain areas is I don't want to cause other Christians to stumble. There are a lot of people that have looked at me and said, man, I really admire your zeal for the Lord. This is very encouraging for me to realize that God is real because he's reflecting you. You have a Christ-like nature. Your behavior is consistent. I'm seeing that that's affecting other people. So I know that if I falter, it can give the wrong idea that God really can't save someone, that God is inconsistent, that God is not real. He doesn't have the authority and the power to control and reflect, in his people. And so I don't want anyone to falter and look at me and say, okay, oh, well, if you're faltering, that means we're all going to falter, eventually. So let me just do whatever I want to do. And so I don't want anybody to ever falter in their faith when it comes to that sort of thing. So it's important that we keep that in mind as people are watching us. I have one last verse here, Ephesians chapter 5, 3 through 5. It says, but sexual immorality and all impurity or covetousness must not even be named among you, as is proper among the saints. Let there be no filthiness, nor foolish talk, nor crude joking, which are out of place. But instead, let there be thanksgiving. For you may be sure of this, that everyone who is sexually immoral or impure, or who is covetous, that is, of an idolater, has no inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and God. And so, again, there are some encouragement that we should not be reflecting the people of this world. They have no inheritance of God. They have nothing waiting for them in eternity but eternal damnation. And we should not be reflecting them. We're not going in that direction like they're going. And so we should be reflecting the one and true God. So again, I was just motivated to make this video. I usually don't make a lot of these long formatted videos these days, but I was motivated to do this because, again, recently there was this week a pastor that in the Reformed community, a very strong pastor that we always, a lot of us thought was very strong, and I guess he faltered, and so he was excused from being the senior pastor at his church. So it's a serious matter, and somebody that I've watched not only in person at our church, Grace Community Church, our home church. Our senior pastor, Dr. John MacArthur, has had this gentleman very frequently throughout the years come and preach in his place from time to time. And so, this is a very intimate time, and, it's a time of reflection, but it also reminds us that any of us can falter. Any of us can falter. So it's a reminder to stay on track because if somebody like this, who had this amazing zeal for the Lord, faltered in in their path, that means any of us can. So we have to be so careful and not to be so judgmental, but, offer grace, obviously, because we give grace to ourselves when we falter, which we do. But we want to be careful not to not offer that grace to others as well when they falter or they're having a hard time as well. God bless you guys. Thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been so long since I've made an actual longer video than my reels, which are like 60 seconds. So God bless you guys. Take care. If you have any thoughts, please, let me know in the comments. I read all the comments. And yeah, this is James again. Take care and peace and have a good day. All right. Thank you.